Welcome to Results Will Vary, a good, bad, and ugly advice show. My name is Russell Bates, advice wunderkind, giggly son of a bitch, and on cloud nine for today because I have two incredibly lovely guests. We first have our lovely co-advisor, Kae Hartman. Hi, Kae.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm happy to be here.
It's been so wonderful. How has your day been going?
My day has been great. I have a fancy event this weekend, and I've been trying different makeup techniques for it all week, and none of them look great. So we're going to see what happens come Saturday.
It's all about the flick of the wrist, okay? And we also have the amazing Kristin Schultes. Hi, Kristin.
Hey, Russell.
Kirsten. I said Christian.
No, you had it right the first time. Kristin.
I said Christian. I know I definitely did.
Christian? Which
well, are you a lady of the cloth?
Christian, but my but birth name Kristin, and
all our birth names are Christian, because that's where we go to the big guy. Why are you hiding, Kae? Why are you hiding?
Absurd.
It's absurd. No, it's everything. He's our everything,
It's also like the first, so I'm not Catholic, but my husband was, and he's not anymore. And it's like his first time not doing Lent. I know, he feels like a real rebel. He's like, I didn't go to church.
But it's kind of meta of him. He's giving up Lent for Lent in a way.
I told him he should pick up a vice just to show him what's up, but he didn't seem interested. So
small steps.
Well, Catholicism was his vice.
Getting topical.
So this is Results Will Vary, a good, bad, and ugly advice show. And we have a lot of problems in the world, and a lot of problems need a lot of solutions. So how we'll deal with your problems is that the first person will be giving good advice. The second person will be giving bad advice to the question. And the third person will be giving ugly advice to the listener submitted question. Without further ado, we should get going on our first question. Are we ready?
Let's
I
rock
almost
and
called
roll.
you boys because you guys, it's the first all female episode. What am I saying? All female? Am I truly coming out of the closet? No.
The door looks pretty shut.
Yeah, it's gonna take a pry bar to get out of here.
I'll call the fire department.
Boys, guys,
Please call the fire department. All right, so for this first question, I will be giving the good advice, Kristin will be giving the bad advice, and Kae will be giving the ugly advice. Dear Results Will Vary. For spring break, my girlies and I have decided to go big and to stay in Australia for the week. This is the trip of a lifetime, but the flight is also going to feel like a lifetime too. Rolling eyes emoji. We're on the runway right now and about to take off, but my question to you is how can I make this flight bearable? Any flying tips or tricks? All right. What's the longest flight we've done over in this corner?
My longest flight is to Shanghai, China from Detroit.
Oof.
I was living in Michigan at the time, and then I still had to change planes in Chicago, and then met up with a friend in Chicago. Then we flew from Chicago to Beijing, China. Our flight was canceled. So then we had to
Canceled in like midair or?
No. Once we got to Beijing, our connecting flight from Beijing to Shanghai was canceled.
Oh, you were stranded in China.
Yes.
How long was that flight?
I want to say 16 hours total, not counting the layovers. It was a long time. Yeah.
It was a long time. Kae, what about you?
It was Anchorage to San Francisco to London, which was the
That's
longest.
A slingshot.
Which is the longest flight I've taken, but it's actually shorter to fly to London from Anchorage than it is to fly to Orlando from Anchorage. The world is weird, and Alaska is far from everything.
Hey, are you from Alaska?
Born, raised, educated, the whole shebang.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. I worked there for 4 summers in college.
Where?
One, I was a tour guide in Denali National Park.
Oh my God. Did you know Grandma Jo? She was an older lady who was a bus driver.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, okay.
I might have come across
short
her.
hair. She had a Little Mermaid tattoo.
That's so cool.
That's my grandma.
What? What a small world.
She's
Oh
a
my God.
Holland America princess legend up there.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I worked for Holland America.
Okay, yeah. I'm okay. So Denali, I'm from 1 hour south of there. I'm from Willow.
Oh,
Yeah,
I've
you
I've
drove through
driven
my
past
hometown.
Willow on
Yeah.
the
Oh
George
my God, what
Park.
are the odds? That's crazy.
I love
This
this.
is good advice. This is good advice.
We're so
And
sweet.
then
Yeah.
I was in Eagle, Alaska, and Dawson City in the Yukon Territory.
Oh
Like a
wow. I've never been over there.
I'm from Washington, but I've never been up to Alaska, and we've always wanted to go up to Alaska.
Did you ever go up to Vancouver?
I went up to Vancouver, but I've
I
never.
should say Vancouver, Canada, not Vancouver, Washington. That's where my husband got his ears pierced.
Oh,
Aw.
He was on the Warp Tour and they all got tattoos. He was like, I'm gonna get my ears pierced. No, the whole band was going to get tattoos, and he said, "Can I get piercings instead?" And they're like, "Yeah." So he's the only one who didn't get their band logo of the band that no longer exists. So
Longest flight I've ever taken was like 6 hours. I'm
where was
pretty
that? Like from where to where? Do you remember?
to to Hawaii. To Hawaii.
Oh
It took
yeah.
6 hours from Seattle to Hawaii. You can't sleep on planes. Very great. It's 16 hours. You have to go to bed at some time. Nobody stays up. Well, people stay up for 16 hours straight because I know what depression feels like. Uh,
but there's
but
always medication for that, right? Like I know
yeah,
some people who
antidepressants. Yeah.
they're like,
No,
okay,
not for the depression, for the flight.
for the flight.
Right, right.
Or maybe a little bit of both. I know some people who they travel with a service dog, and it's like one tranquilizer for my dog and one tranquilizer for me.
Me.
I have recently turned into a disciple of the neck pillow. It is like a collar to me. I wear that thing everywhere. What I don't understand about airports, though, is why would anyone dress in like a suit? I understand people have jobs and I people take flights way more than me, but when I go to the airport, I am wearing flip-flops, I am wearing the baggiest t-shirt I own, I am wearing essentially like jumper shorts, like extreme like nothing. I'm not wearing nothing while going to the airport. But when it comes to like actually doing things on the plane, sure you could say like books or like play a video game and movies, but that's kind of boring. Everyone can know that. What I do, this is because I'm me. I try to figure out who the air marshal is. Um, you know,
That's
How do
so
you
bridesmaids of
tell?
you.
What are the giveaways? What are the telltale signs?
well, you always think it's gonna be the gruff dude, but what you have to be really concerned about is the Indian grandmas. Yeah, I'm sure they're packing in there, but you can always say, you can always say like, yeah, the guy who looks like a cop.
Yeah, my dad always gets almost every time he flies, someone asks if he's the marshal because he's a scary looking dude.
Is he an Indian grandma looking dude?
No, no, no. He looks like a berserker. He's 6'6". His shoulders are this big. He turned 60
Oh
this
yeah,
year.
you're Swedish, right?
And he still has to wear like fitted t-shirts because like regular t-shirts are too loose on him because he doesn't have a gut or anything yet. He's a big, scary looking guy. His hair has been longer than mine my entire life. My dad has
Whoa.
always had a ponytail my entire
Is
life.
so is your dad a Viking? Is
That's
your
what he
dad?
looks
Yeah.
like, and that's what he's built like. And then my mom is a teeny tiny lady. She's like this tall, 100 pounds, nothing. And then like one of my dad's relatives had the audacity to tell me like, it's so weird you didn't end up tiny like your mom. And I was like, have you seen my father?
I mean, the genetics they play out so that you just got average. You're
Oh
just
yeah, I got average. I got huge shoulders. I got the genetics that will keep me plump as a partridge through the winter. Like,
You got the genes that are why your gene pool is still around.
yes,
Like-
exactly. I have
Yeah.
the British are coming and we're gonna get it. We're gonna make it energy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right, but sure, that's all fun and dandy. But
But before we
Kristin,
go on, okay, I just have to say we are like racking up things in common because my dad is also 6'6".
Really? Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Yeah.
guys, you can't get too good along. All right. All
Right.
right.
We have a
I'm the
job to
host
do.
here. Okay.
You have to provide
I'm the
advice.
one
Oh,
who
Russell,
knew
how you
person.
doing? Where'd you come from?
All right, I need attention. I need somebody to be looking at me at least every 30 seconds, or else I'm going to start having a conniption fit.
Continue,
So,
please.
Russell, what is your good advice?
Yes, please.
I just gave it, Kristin.
Oh, that was
Kristin.
right. Okay.
that was
Sorry.
good advice. A neck
Kristin.
pillow.
Yes, neck
Yeah,
pillow,
like
comfortable
sleep.
clothes. Got it.
But Kristin, tell us
Or
how.
try to.
Kristin, tell us how you really feel. Meat and
Yeah.
potatoes of this.
So, my advice is spring break does not begin when you land in Australia, ladies. Spring break begins as soon as you like turn in that last final exam. So, once you get on that airplane, start drinking immediately alcohol.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
a lot of international flights have complimentary alcohol service. So you want to take advantage of that. Those international plane tickets are expensive. Make sure you drink up and drink frequently to make sure you get your money's worth.
Yeah. Okay. So you're getting sloshed on this plane. You're getting sloshed on this 20-hour plane, so that even to the point you are going to get drunk, and then you are going to have the hangover, and you will still be sitting in your seat.
Right. The key to this, though, is to not get so intoxicated that you can't like stand up and leave the aircraft once you do land. This happened to me. I started drinking on a flight from Puerto Vallarta, Mexico to Chicago. And I started chatting with this woman. I was in college. She was like in her mid 30s. And she was having a rough day and kept buying rounds of drinks for us. So I was
Oh
like,
no.
no problem. And the flight attendants are like, no, we're actually out of red wine, but flight attendants like to help each other out. So the other one was like, oh no, I have some in the back. I didn't realize she was
Oh my
trying to cut us off. And then all of a sudden, I'm having a conversation with this woman. Meanwhile, we're getting like shushed by other passengers, shushed by flight attendants because we're talking too loud. This woman all of a sudden starts drooling and passes out. And then the flight lands at O'Hare and I'm shaking her. I'm like, hey, time to wake up. Like we landed. All the cool kids are deplaning.
And you're intoxicated at this point as well.
I'm a little tipsy, but I think she was taking some sort of medication that
I was gonna say
Oh
that
my
sounds
God.
like she OD'd.
Yeah, but they had to call us. They had a stretcher waiting for her to after everybody deplaned, and I waited, and then I was like, I can't wait any longer. I don't know this
Yeah.
woman.
We need to throw a rager on this plane. I probably should not invite that lady because
Don't invite that
No.
lady. Just your
don't
girl.
invite that
We're
lady
going
because
to
that
Down
could be a
Under with you.
buzzkill. That could be a buzzkill. How?
Yeah.
What is the best way we can throw an absolute rager on a Boeing 747?
On the plane, get them oxygen masks down, baby. You
Ooh,
get fresh
yeah.
oxygen into your system. It's like waking the hell up and you can drink even more. I'm old enough to remember oxygen bars, like at malls and stuff. I wasn't old
Oxygen
enough to go.
bars?
Yeah, it was like
What?
you could get like flavored oxygen and you would
This
just sit
sounds
there
like such a
and breathe
90s
it.
thing.
It very much was, and I was not old enough to do it, but I am old enough to
Yeah.
remember oxygen bars, and that's where everyone.
Oh, thank
went
God,
over
you weren't old
went
enough to do
hungover.
oxygen.
I'm
And
so
now
bored.
I feel like I missed out a little bit.
Yeah, at least our malls had them. Maybe that was just an Alaska thing.
No, there were some malls that had that.
Oh yeah, and this is like it was like medical grade oxygen, but you could also get it like raspberry scented, and then you just sat there with the thing and just chatted with your friends while it helped you with a hangover.
I bet you can get flavored oxygen at Vegas nightclub post after hours spots.
Oh, I'm sure. I know
Along with,
IV
like,
bars.
liquid IVs.
IV bars are a thing too, where you can just go get the IV.
Now that is something I want to do. I've heard of these.
It's great. Highly recommend. It is a very big deal in Alaska. We all do it.
That's bad advice, definitely. What is some ugly advice we can give this Samantha?
Planes are for chumps. You got to take to the sea if you really want to prove yourself.
Okay.
And while you're there, you can learn a lot about sailing and I don't know, maybe start some piracy. Seems like an easy way to make some extra money.
Okay. So I was thinking that we're taking like a cruise or something, but no, you're talking about
I mean,
like
you can start there
1700s.
if you're soft, but
No. You should get a whole bunch of old wrinkly men with peg legs, make sure at least like 50% of them don't have one eye, a bunch of parrots,
I was
and
gonna say parrots seem vital to this plan. I feel like this is a good chance to like rebrand old timey piracy as like the new multi-level marketing.
Yeah.
Be like, do you want to be in my piratey downline? And it's like, hey hun, hey bestie, how many doubloons have you invested this year?
I want to get your booty
Yeah, exactly.
into my ship.
Exactly. And I feel like you could give out like fun little awards instead of getting like a car. You could get like your own little
The head
sailboat.
of your
Guys,
rival, you know.
help
They
get
like
the private island.
yeah, exactly. This seems like a better plan than taking a dumb plane.
Well, you know, there is also a thing called air piracy. You can hijack a plane. And I would say wash, rinse, repeat. Get a whole bunch of old dudes, wrinkly, peg legs, bunch of loose hands and hooks, no eyes.
Russell, what I'm pretty sure you're like describing is the plot of Tailspin. So
Yes, or some
Is
Harrison
that
Ford movie
90s
place on
or
a
it
is
is
plane.
that
90s. Look it
yeah.
up on Disney Plus.
I'm not gonna be huffing
I love
oxygen to that, I'm sorry.
Tailspin.
Oh, Tailspin is wild. It's like fan fiction of the characters from the Jungle Book.
Yes,
It's wild. Yeah, no, I did as a kid I
better
did
than
not get
flavored
it. And as an
oxygen.
adult, I'm like,
What?
"Oh, okay, it was a whole different universe." All right, but as a kid I was like, "No, that makes no sense to me."
So we hope we hope we helped Samantha.
I hope they meet a Hemsworth. Just maybe one.
Yeah.
I hope you pet a koala.
I hope you don't get bit by a spider. All right, let's get on to the next question. So, for this next question, Kay will be giving the good advice, I will be giving the bad advice, and Kristin will be giving the ugly advice. All right, let's go. Oh, that's interesting. Samantha from SoCal is writing back again.
The
That's
one who
really
just went to
interesting.
Australia with the girlies?
Yeah, she just took off.
Hmm.
All right. Dear results will vary. Oh my God, you're not gonna believe it. We're cruising at 30,000 feet, and I look out my window to see that the right engine has exploded. That's not the unbelievable part. I look over at the left engine, and who'da thunk it, that's exploded too. That's not the unbelievable part either. I make my way through the rioting mob and the people saying their last goodbyes to their loved ones to the cockpit to see that both pilots and the AI autopilot are taking really deep naps. My question to you is how do I deal with this? Any plane crash tips or tricks? Uh-oh.
Wow. That's a real pickle.
But Kay, what is some good advice we can give this person who is obviously in hell right now?
Yeah, so the best advice I would give is having dated a pilot at one point that you're still on
Whoa.
very good terms with as far as like being friends. Because then you can call that person up and be like, oh my God, it's been so long. What have you been up to? BT dubs. I need just like a real quick TLDR on how
Hey,
to
are
land
you
this.
available right now? I kind of have a job I need for you
I
to
kind
do.
of need your advice on how to put this bird on the ground, if you know what I mean. And then after you've successfully landed, drop that you have a friend you really want to hook them up with. That way they stay in your
Okay.
good graces for the
Okay.
next time you call
So,
to ask.
so is this playing on real experience? No.
Yes.
Wait, what?
No, not landing a plane, but I have an ex-boyfriend who is a pilot.
Yeah.
And he's helped us in a couple pinches as far as like needing a small plane fast.
I mean, I'm assuming in pilot school they train them to be like, uh, both engines are down. What
Yep.
are you gonna do?
They do false stalls, I think is what they call it, where
But
they
has
just
he
shut off the
actually
engines.
experienced that?
Like IRL, probably not.
Okay.
Statistically, plane accidents are actually pretty low. Not so much lately.
Not right now, because
Not
these
right
people.
now. Apparently, Pete Buttigieg was keeping them all in the sky. Um, yeah, they do practice like stalls to like get it on the ground successfully if your engine goes out, to the best of my knowledge. But yeah, I think the best advice was make sure you dated a pilot but didn't marry them, and then you call them for advice and stay on good terms with them.
Sage wisdom, Kay.
Yeah.
Sage
What?
wisdom.
So are you a good person? to be around under pressure, because there's a lot of pressure going on in this situation. Yeah, I
Yes.
would say.
I have anxiety disorder, so I'm always prepared for every kind of bad situation you could possibly think of. So
You
by
are
the time
Murphy's Law.
by the time the bad thing has happened, I've already gone through it in my head and I'm ready for the okay, what do we do now phase.
Okay, I'm inviting you to be on my zombie team whenever the apocalypse happens.
I have a crossbow. I got us covered.
Love it. This is what I love about Alaskans. They're prepared for literally everything.
Only like 10-15% of Alaska is accessible by car.
Yeah, you have been on a lot of flights, I'm realizing.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I think it's 1 in 4, 1 in 5 people there have pilot licenses. Doesn't mean that they have that many planes, but like most everyone has a pilot's license. So
What about the Bears?
the Chicago Bears, they're not doing great.
Mm,
And
I-
the grizzly bears or black bears,
I'm only
Alaska.
Because
They
aren't
ride
bears
ATV.
citizenized in Alaska? They
No.
have a vote, right?
no, but yeah, Kristen knows about Talkeetna, the town that the mayor
Oh,
is a
you and
cat.
Kristen know everything. Yeah, you guys
Yes.
are best friends. Sure.
Yeah, it used to be a cat named Stubbs. Stubbs passed away a few years ago. It's another cat now, but there is a town in
Assassinated?
Alaska. I do believe old age is what took Stubbs out that time. This Talkeetna is a wacky little town. The weed dispensary is also the ice climbing museum,
That's great.
and it's fantastic.
That's probably
And-
not something you want to put two and two together, you
And
know?
when you go to the grocery store, convenience store, the only place to get like food there, they have in the winter they have a book of bachelors, and it's literally just a folder of every single guy in town and his name and bio and phone number, and you could just call him up.
Oh,
I
wow.
need to move to that town. My parents want me to get married.
That's
real
where
bad.
that's where my grandma Jo lived.
Really? Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
She's the first time her house visiting her house was the first time I ever saw nuns because the nuns came to help paint her house.
Wait, there's
Wow.
nuns in Alaska? What are they doing up there?
The nuns
There-
are everywhere.
There's lots of
Russell.
churches up there. The Pope visited one of the churches up there. It's a very big deal. And at some point that church got refurbished and some bar like stole the carpet and now that carpet is on their stage and that's like their Pope John Paul
They
stage.
stole the carpet?
Yeah, they were
out of
like, this is
everything
holy
there.
carpet.
Out of everything there, they stole the carpet.
Yeah.
Couldn't you just
Alaska
like dig
is
up the
wacky.
trash and get his
I think they
paper
did. I
cup or
think they
something?
literally just took it out of the trash and were like, that was from the stage and Pope John Paul stood on it and my husband's
Okay.
abuela, when she lived in Alaska for the last couple of years of her life, she went to that same church because that's the one the Pope went to, and that's it was a very big deal. And just like during church, during mass, she just like marched her butt right on up to the statue of Mary and started praying and doing her thing. And when they told her like, "Ma'am, you can't do that right now," she was like, in Spanish, she's like, "I am like 95. Leave me alone."
Oh,
True.
love that.
I can't wait to be that age and have that sort of mindset where
Mhm.
nothing truly matters. Like
Nope.
no information that comes in will ever affect me. I kind of wish I had that disposition on life now. Maybe we should all act more like 95-year-olds, you know?
Act more like Esther, like Bisabuela Esther.
R.I.P. Esther. R.I.P. Esther.
She's a real one.
One of the real ones. That's all bullshit. That all sucks. Well, first off, I'm going to give you the bad advice here, Samantha. You are in quite a predicament, and you should realize that. Freak the fuck out. Everyone else is doing it. Number one, you need to start panicking because that's how you get into overdrive. But we do need a solution here. So in your state of panic and in your, delusion right now, I need you to get everyone's attention. Start like smacking people if they're not paying attention. Like, you're being hysterical. It's not that big of a deal. This plane is going down. So what I need you to do is that you tell everybody, 1, 2, 3, jump. So what this is going to do, and this is how physics work, is when they jump, everyone's going to hit their head on the ceiling and the plane is going to go up. All right. So you're going to do this quite a few times. You're going to have everyone jump, hit their head on the ceiling, like a little pop, pop, pop. You know how Mario jumps and
Punching the block.
Punching the block.
Boing, boing.
when you're about to jump off a cliff in like Super Smash Bros, you have like a little air jump that you could do where all physics go out the window and you apparently have some sort of gravity that pulls you back up. That's not just in video games, that's in real life. And it only takes the power of friendship to achieve this.
Love that. I've been working on that little air jump with my yoga instructor, and I feel like I'm
What
so
is that
close.
move called again?
Double
Uh,
jump? Boing
Yeah,
boing.
the
yeah,
double jump. It's
yeah, but the double jump
the
vinyasa.
Yahoo!
I
Wah!
just can't quite master it, but one of these days.
Do you have to say wahoo when you do it to really like sell the effect, or
I think only out of respect for the OG, the M to the A to the RIO.
I kind of heard a similar technique for when you have a breached baby as a woman. If you just like sit with your butt up in the air for 45 minutes, the baby will turn itself around.
they'll try anything except actually helping. My birth was not covered because my dad switched jobs and I was considered a pre-existing condition.
What?
Yep.
Oh,
I love healthcare in America.
you know
Weird.
what? Honestly, that's kind of a baller thing to call yourself. I'm a pre-existing
Pre-existing
condition.
condition, yeah. And I've been
That's
nothing
so
but a pain in the ass ever since.
That's ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
Well, I know that if I was on that plane, I would just keep drinking alcohol. I'm going to stick with my
Okay.
advice from the first answer. Also applies to this situation.
So
But
yeah, Kristen, tell us how you really feel. This is ugly advice. We're gonna
yeah,
continue getting
this
sloshed.
this is my ugly advice. Just keep getting sloshed because alcohol is a depressant. It's going to relax your body, brace you for impact.
Okay. Okay.
Um, if anything, first step, you want to commandeer the snack and alcohol cart because it's going to have food and beverages. You're going to need those once you hit the water. And then you can also use the cart as a flotation device. So,
Okay. Okay.
yeah, you just hang on to that baby and have cocktails in Southern Ocean.
I mean, that's
How?
how that one guy survived the Andromeda strain, is that he was just like yacked out of his mind. So
One of your girlies gets like breaks open her arm or something and you need to do like some crazy surgery. You just pour some vodka on it, sterilizes the wound, you're good to go.
mhm.
Wasn't there like an Italian chef on the Titanic who just by pure coincidence was getting sloshed by the time the iceberg was getting
Well, what
by the
else are you
time
supposed to do?
I know, but he was
Yes.
just a pure alcoholic and just so happened to be at the right place at the right time because the alcohol warmed his body to the point that he didn't even feel the icy cold, bleak,
Giuseppe
dark
Veneto.
water.
I just read his biography. It was incredible.
Wow.
Oh, really?
Very,
Okay,
yes.
that's good. That's good. Um, so I totally agree. You should be sloshed while doing this, but I would have one other thing. I would have one other thing. So, you know Superman, right?
Clark Kent, hate to break it to you, but as the same guy.
What the
Yeah,
fuck?
take the glasses off. I'm
Are you
telling you, it's the
kidding
same
me?
dude. Cal-El, let's be real here.
So Clark, you're telling you're not bullshitting me that Clark
No,
Kent.
same
Oh
dude.
my,
So
Also
wild.
Kal-El, same dude. He's just running around with a bunch of different names. I think it's so the government can't track him, but
that shattered my entire reality, and I will never be the same.
you're
But
welcome.
so what you have to do while you're absolutely hammered is kind of crawl out the window. uh, you're gonna crawl out the window. You're gonna start flying. Because you can fly, Samantha. You can fly. It isn't the alcohol speaking to you. Um,
Although the
yeah.
alcohol will give you like a kind of like dizzy, like you might be floating, but you really
That's
have
just
to
the
jump
flying.
out the window to be airborne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you are going to start flying and you're going to lift it. And you're going to, or maybe you can call K's X and
Mhm.
maybe he can go dun dun dun. Because pilots can fly, right?
Yeah, that's what they teach them at flight school. That's what that's for.
That's the PE section of flight school.
Yeah.
I want to go to flight school now.
Do they at flight school also teach you how to fly drunk?
No. They probably only want you sober, I'm assuming.
Ah, come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
They should do that. I mean, the way things are
They
going
don't even
right
let
now,
you
they
fly
should.
tired, man. They definitely not going to let you fly drunk.
Samantha, we hope you get out of this in some peace. I Can we be honest, guys? Samantha's dead. Samantha's gonna die. You know? Yeah.
R.I.P.
Gone
Samantha.
too soon.
That's unfortunate. Well, it's in memoriam of Samantha, but I
Wow.
think we should do what she would have wanted and to keep going.
I
All
was gonna
right.
say get drunk, but okay.
Okay. Yeah. We should get sloshed.
That'll be later.
Cool.
It's
All
Thursday.
right.
We'll have a Foster's
Thursday.
honor
Oh,
Sam, because it's
yes.
Australian for beer.
For beer.
All right. For our final question, we will have Kristin be giving the good advice. Kay will be giving the bad advice, and I will be giving your ugly, ugly advice. So usually, I get questions from the email. Results will vary pod@gmail.com. Go send suggestions, emails, and things. I love feedback and everything. But it's different this time because I was walking on the beach the other day, the famous Chicago beach, on the shoreline, and I came across a very wet boot that was dried up on shore. It was just there and everything. And so like I'm a freaky little fella. I went there like a foot. No. I'm a freaky little fella, and so I decided to pick it up. And so I reached into here, and inside the boot it's sopping wet, but it's some sort of like birch parchment sort of thing.
Wow.
And it seems like there's a bunch of charcoal
Well,
smeared
hear-
on it and everything.
Boots are the new bottles for messages.
hmm
Mm-hmm.
But it's like a dry, it just seems like a bunch of charcoal. But like, you know, who knows? Like, do you guys want to just try this one?
Yeah. I mean,
Sure, sure.
what do you think? It seemed like it's got good energy to it. Like, should we check it?
I'm a freaky little fella, so let's
You
sniff this
have
little
in
guy.
fact
You know?
stated that you are the freakiest of little fellas, so let's do it.
Yeah,
Heck
I
yeah.
have stated it.
I'm all aboard for this message in a boot.
Oh wow. Dear results will vary. That's quite convenient.
Wow. Whoa.
Because this show is called Results. Dear
What are the
Results Will Vary,
odds?
and that's usually how that is.
Wild.
Wow.
Boy, have I had a day. Woke up this morning thinking I'm gonna have the ultimate spring break to now sitting amongst the burning wreckage of my plane on a deserted island somewhere in the South Pacific. My question to you is, how do I deal with this? Any surviving on a desert island tips or tricks? I think all my friends are dead. And that's from Samantha in SoCal.
Wow.
Wow, that is so serendipitous.
That's incredible.
That's incredible. Jeez, guys. Samantha drank enough to and stayed on the beverage cart to ride out the storm, and now she's living in hell with all of her dead friends. Yeah,
Well,
guys.
Because she's on an island, right?
Well, she's the
Well-
only. It sounds like she's a sole survivor, but we've all had this imagination of like what to do on a deserted island, right? You know, if
Oh,
if
yeah.
if you had that. So, Kirsten, what is some good advice we can give this now castaway Samantha?
Yeah.
That's so convenient. That is crazy.
Wow.
That's
Totally.
What are the
small
odds?
world, small world.
Yeah.
First of all, I
Just
just want to say we're all Team Sam here. So go Team Samantha. I'm
Yeah.
going to rescind my RIP, although, because you're living the life, girl. You are a survivor. And here's the thing. Girlfriends are precious things in life, right?
Yeah.
But not everybody's going to survive a plane crash. Everybody could have been toast, including you, Samantha, but you are the chosen one. You lived. So you have to live on now in honor of your girlfriend.
What would make the best object for a castaway imaginary friend?
In the middle of like a shipping container that
Like a
you
shipping container.
your friend, and I feel like those will randomly wash up on shore a lot of the time.
Yeah, I'm gonna say a tire. Those wash up all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And you
Tire.
could get some dirt and like draw a smiley face on it.
I like the shipping container idea because it's like you're going into its mouth every time. It's eating you.
Ow.
That was
Yeah.
I don't know why that was so funny. That was such a funny noise. Meow. What is the most survival you have been? Like Bear Grylls you have ever been, Kristen?
I'm a sailor and I do these long distance yacht races on the Great Lake. And
Oh,
so I did this race that was around 500 nautical miles long, where it starts in Chicago and then ends in Port Huron, Michigan. And so we go nonstop, like around the mitten. And we encountered a couple really bad storms where
how long was this? Like how
it
many
took about
days?
5 days. Yeah, but
Holy crap.
really gnarly storms. My dad was injured, but we had to like rebuild some things. We also lost steerage in the process, but we actually ended up getting second in the race, which was wild. But so just that's the
I don't know how
closest
you didn't
to
like not
extreme camping I've done,
yeah.
other than living in Alaska during the
Yeah,
summer.
I was gonna say I grew up in the woods. I hate camping. I am good. Thank you. I'm done. No, I don't need it.
Yeah,
Everyone's
there's
like,
kind
oh,
of
but it's so peaceful. I'm like, no. No, what's
Yeah,
peaceful for me? The
but have you
city.
but have you ever had like to like snatch a salmon that was jumping out like a like you were a bear, like one of the citizens of Alaska? I'm
No,
insisting on
but like,
citizens of
but like
Alaska.
I've shot a duck and eaten it in the same hour. Yeah, that kind of thing I've done. Trying to think. The worst is like, so we lived in the middle of nowhere, but we had running water and electricity, but we had a week where the power went out. So
Stop bragging.
that would be that would be the worst is a week without electricity or running water. So it's always some middle-aged guy who's like, I could tough it in the wilderness. And I'm always like, sure.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're like, you don't believe me. And I'm like, no.
like, see you later, Chris McCandless.
Yes, and Alaskans can't stand that guy and Into the Wild. Truly
Who
cannot
is he?
stand. So
Chris
it's a book called
McCandless.
Into the Wild, and it's about this guy who is
Oh,
like
oh
a
no.
rich
Okay.
kid from another state, and he goes to Alaska, and he's like, I'm gonna go into the woods to find myself in peace and shit. And he doesn't bring any supplies or food, and then he dies out there, and everyone's like, oh, he was just an adventurer trying to find his spirit and his truth. And the rest of us are like, he's a dumb shit who went into the woods in a goddamn bus with no food. They had
Yeah.
to take the bus out of Denali because people kept getting stranded out there. And it cost us like 10 grand every time they rescued a person.
I heard about that.
It's at the museum in Fairbanks.
Why would you go out to a place that
Because
famously somebody got lost at?
we call it the pilgrimage for dumb shits. And like if you're on Tinder in Alaska, at least like 5 or 6 years ago when the bus was still there, every guy had a picture of him at that damn bus, and every girl was like, immediate no, that's a no, I'm good.
I'm sorry, I would have been one of those. I'm not saying it was smart. But
No,
like
someone
I know my lapse of irony sometimes, and I'd be like, "Oh, this guy is so dreamy."
someone
Uh,
finally died trying to get to it, or no, coming back from it, and
well,
that's when they
he
finally
did.
were like, okay, we gotta stop. It was some couple on their honeymoon. They'd only been married like two
Oh,
days, and the wife
dang
got
it!
swept downstream and never was found.
Dang it! Now it's a buzzkill. We were just
You have
talking
to
about
cross
dumb
The
the
shit,
good
river to
news
get
is
to
but
the
now
you
other.
can now
somebody
see
died.
it at the museum without having to risk your life.
Love that.
Love that.
But
Russell,
yeah.
I think
So
you would really like the book or the movie. It's called Into the Wild by John Krakauer.
Henry, who's in Into the Wild, the movie?
Krista Candle.
No, the actor. It's not Orlando Bloom. Some other
I don't
dishy
remember the
white guy
actor.
from the
I know
mid-aughts.
But
Penn,
why
like,
do you think
started
I
it.
would like it? Are you trying to say something about my character,
Oh,
Kristin?
it's a good book.
I
And
take
actually,
everything as an offense because you guys are best friends now, and you're talking about Alaska. And
well,
I'm
it's
down here in freaking Seattle.
There's
No,
a how-to for survival
even
guides
love
in the
me.
far north. No,
You
No,
guys
we're-
even love me.
we're just trauma bonding over having survived Alaska.
yes. Since we're on like survival guides, top three: Into the Wild, Zombie Survival Guide, and the book Hatchet. I think
Oh
you
yeah.
very well rounded. Covers all the
I'm in
bases.
hell right now. Okay, you gave some good pointers,
I
but
did, but
tell
like
tell us how you really feel, okay?
No, here's the thing. I read a lot of trashy romance books, and if I know anything, a very handsome man who is no longer in love with his wife also survived and is somewhere on that island. And girly pop, You just gotta find him. And then you've got a private island with a handsome guy.
Okay,
That's my entire advice. I have nothing else.
describe the ideal deserted island, sort of dreamy type, the Fabio of
The guy? Like the type of guy?
yeah.
Oh, I'm definitely thinking like Pedro Pascal.
Ooh,
Okay.
good one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I want a guy who can speak multiple languages, is really funny, very comfortable with his feminine side, very talented, very passionate, all those
And
things.
is also willing to eat the bodies.
Well, yeah. I mean, the coconuts are only going to do so much. You could put
Indeed.
them together. Ooh, toasted coconut.
Ah, like a toasted coconut tartare.
Yeah. And Pedro Pascal would be down with that.
He would. I
He
bet
would.
he's a good cook.
Is he? I bet he is. I believe that.
Looks like it.
I bet he is.
Mm-hmm.
What are some romantic things you can do on a deserted island with your Pedro Pascal?
Well, not sex on the beach because that is super overrated. Sand gets everywhere. It's truly, you will not, the place
I'm not
sand
gonna
can
ask.
get. But I mean, the sunsets, you've been to Hawaii, you've seen the sunsets. It's stunning. Like watch
Yeah,
the
only in
sunset.
Hawaii I've ever seen the sun.
I
I
mean,
didn't. I thought it was a myth.
Russell,
I thought it was
And
like,
much
what are you
time
guys
do you
talking
have
about?
on this podcast? Because romantic things to do on a deserted island.
Like being alone on an
stop.
island is truly my ideal of paradise. Like being
Yes,
away from
same.
others. Amazing.
And yet you love being in the city and left Alaska for... No, I'm joking.
Valid.
A romantic hike, renaming all of the fire ant holes after, romantic heights
fire
in
ant holes, yes.
relationship. Yeah, like our first kiss ant hole.
If there's anything left on that beverage cart, you can invent new cocktails together.
Yes,
How fun.
super fun.
Mix everything with salt water, you know?
Oh yeah, I love a little briny beverage.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Handsome man somewhere on the island. Find him.
That is adorable. Samantha, you deserve it, girl. You deserve it. But Samantha, you also... I'm going to tell you how it is. You're going to get a rope. I'm sure there's a rope in some sort of the wreckage. You are going to string it up to a tree, and you're going to run out into the ocean with it kind of, it hooked on the tree, and then kind of hooked like a backpack under your shoulders. And then you're going to swim, and you're going to drag the island to the nearest continent and landmass.
It's good you can take a break. So you can, since you've got the island with you, you can just go back and you'll take nice little breaks and then get right back to it. I do
you
like
guys
the idea that you have them like leash kid style to the island.
That's a great core and shoulder workout.
You know, the island can run off. The island can be a bratty little child and start being a conniption fit. How would you discipline an island?
Spank it, obviously.
Yeah. What is the butt of an island?
I assume the fire ant hills.
Oh, that's too close to the butthole.
Yeah. Is that not the
Yep.
same thing?
Isn't it
Okay,
no.
but when you're spanking when you're spanking, you're doing it on the cheek, not the hole.
We have
No.
different techniques.
Yeah, I mean, I think all over or the south side of the island. That's the answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really just think you have to believe you're Jesus. You are the only one that survived. Maybe Pedro Pascal survived, but maybe that's your...
Of course he would.
Yes, he would. He definitely
But
would.
The
not-
Mandalorian. Of course he would survive it.
She's not the only woman who survived, though. Samantha, you are the only woman who survived. And
So what I need you to do as well is you can still have it strapped up, but you're just going to run into the sea. And you're going to be able to walk upon the sea as you're going along to get back to land. It's just like 500 miles, you know?
right? Or
Just a
she'll
jog.
find that staircase to heaven.
And how many of her friends are waiting for her there? Probably most of them, because your girlfriends are just angels.
Samantha, what a
She's
journey.
been through it. Wow.
She's been through it.
Poor
And now
Samantha.
she's got a
Question
man.
queen.
Now she's got a man. Now she's got now she's second coming of Christ. Like she's on top of the world right now. But
Jesus.
You guys are the world, my two fucking awesome co-advisors. Thank you so much for being on. Let's start off with Kae. This is coming out March 28th. What are some things that could be happening in your world? What's some social, where could people find your voice, you know?
Wow. My Instagram handle is Sorceress Supreme. It is a Doctor Strange joke. I am very cool. And I've had 2 people message me on Instagram to try to buy that handle from me. So very neat. Right. The only thing I know for sure for a date is you can catch me in Real Space Wives of Alderaan on May 4th. It's all improvised housewives, it's all improvised housewives, but we're all aliens from the Star Wars universe.
Kae has a photo on her Instagram of what they were, and it is wild.
Thank you. My character's name is Satosh Navor. She is an heiress who also married rich, so she's double covered.
Samantha, this is your life now. You guys, but Kristin, where can people find you? What are you doing? What's going on?
Yeah, so you can find me on all the socials at Kristin Actually, Kristin Actually. And I am on the cast of Tuesday Musical Improv, so you can see me at The Annoyance Theater in Chicago on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. There's a fun music jam at 7 p.m. right before, so if you want to try out music improv, everyone's so nice. It's such a supportive community, and it's just a ton of fun. So definitely recommend you come out. And then I'll be doing my all-original play rant called Angry Letters I Wrote to Boys at the People Improv Theater SoloCom Festival in New York on April 12th.
That is such a cool title. That is like so amazing. Thank you two so much for being on again.
Of course, this was fun.
These 2 are incredibly talented, incredibly nice. There's reason why they are best friends now, and they don't even give a shit about me.
It's time we let Russell know that we're actually cousins.
Indeed.
I mean, everyone in Alaska's cousins, and
you don't know how true that is, man. My mom's the youngest of 11. Every 2 months, someone will be like, "We're cousins" on Facebook or something, and I'm like, "Probably." I don't know.
This has been Results Will Vary. Thank you so much for listening. It truly means the fucking world to me. Where you can find us is your current podcast listening platform. It will continue to be going up every 2 weeks, bi-weekly. You can find us on Instagram and socials at Results Will Vary Pod. If you are wanting to send a suggestion, a question, maybe not have Russell be writing as a deranged castaway.
What?
Wait, Superman's Clark Kent? What are you talking about?
Yeah, same guy.
If you're wanting to send a question, results will vary pod@gmail.com is the best way to do that. Again, thank you so fucking much for listening. We've gotten a lot of great feedback, and I've started to meet a lot of great people from doing this. And if you're wanting to be on the show, fucking ask. Go for it, dude. Go for it. I am a fully open book. We obviously have 2 wonderful people here who can come on anytime again. And I'd love to have you on if you are truly interested. So I think I've gotten everything. So what's the moral of today's story of Samantha?
I would say don't go to Australia.
Or if you have some Smirnoff Ice and a cool basement, hang out there with your girlies.
Yeah.
Yeah, and get crazy
bro
on
ice your girlies in the basement.
Swipe right on everything.
Girlies in the basement. Wait a minute. Wait a minute, bro ice your girlies in the basement.
You know what bro icing is, right?
But I would say
I just found out about this last month.
I would say take everything you have heard today with a Mediterranean grain of salt. Or in this case, a South Pacific washed up on an island grain of salt. But if you do happen to take any of this advice, just remember that results will vary. Goodbye!